This is round one of taking a theme you guys sent me and turning it into a song in 30 minutes. Let's see how this goes. Someone sent in this request. I'd be interested to hear something that reflects the ultimate isolation. Like maybe the last human alive on the planet, or someone living an extremely solitary and isolated lifestyle.
I am alone.
So here's how this is going to work. It has a 30-minute countdown timer. I have our logic window. I have my keyboard here that's showing live. You should be able to hear that just fine. And I am going to just try to write something that captures this theme that was sent in, extreme isolation, in 30 minutes. We're going to switch this timer on right about now. And we're counting down. So the first thing I am going to work on here is I need to get something that represents some form of isolation, right? I need something that kind of has a distancy feel, and I think I know what I want that to be. So right now I set the BPM beforehand to like I think 62. Is that what I set it? I don't know if I'm going to keep that. Let's just kind of see what happens here. All right, let's go. I like that. Perfect. I love the way that loops out. So the second thing we're going to do is... So I really like the isolating sound of having just the one kind of single woodwind in the background, if you will. All right, and we're going to pull it back to right in there, loop it out a couple times. How are we doing on time right now? Let's see, 21:50. Okay, so we're already almost 10 minutes down, but that's okay. We got 2 instruments added in. Something I'm going to do real quick to kind of give this a bit more of a kind of that desolate sound that we're going for, like Last Man on Earth, right? I want to go for a Space Designer reverb, and I'm just going to play with a couple different ideas here on what that would sound like. Good. I like that. I really like the direction we're going with that. I don't know, the image I have in my head, so you can kind of understand where I'm going with this, is I see this guy walking out of like maybe like some kind of event. Maybe something happened. Maybe it was I don't know, a bomb, an explosion, something happened, right? And he's walking out, and it's like this dawn and like the dust, and you can just kind of see that like there's just this desolateness left behind, and this is kind of dawning on you that like you're alone in this moment. So that's kind of what I'm going for. I really like the frozen strings because they kind of bring in that feeling of almost kind of suspense while you have the deduct, which is kind of almost the narrator or the protagonist of the story, right? I love to use instruments as different elements of character building, right? So you have the frozen strings, which is setting the scene, and then you have the deduct is kind of guiding the narration a little bit. I'm just going to, off the top of my head, pull in... Let's go with some BBC Orchestra. This is a free plugin through Spitfire, by the way, which is super nice. 13 minutes left. We've got to get these strings put in so we can kind of lay down something else to kind of make this sound. We're going to change this to a different direction. I'm not liking the way those are fitting in, so I am actually going to flip this over, and we're going to go for something more synthy and droney. So I know it's a bit odd. Whoops. But we're just going to kind of do that. Now we are going to create a duplicate of that, but instead we're going to go with something a little more bassy. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Only thing on that real quick we need to do is I need to slap kind of a high, just throw a high pass on it. For now, that'll work. We're not worried about EQing and everything right now. I'm just trying to get the right effect. And once again, we're going to throw on that same verb, but pull back the dry and up the wet. Don't know if I like it. We're going to have to backtrack a little bit here. We have a grand total of 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes left. We're going to backtrack. I want to do something different. I'm trying to overcomplicate that. That's a bad problem whenever you do compositional work. You can start to add things in and create a mess. So rule number 1, don't create a mess of yourself. Okay, let's go back and see what we can add in that's a little less intense in this last second to see if I can tie something together in a hurry. Synthesizer. I want to go to Soundscape. For sake of time, we're just going to have to loop that out. Join them. Boom. Bada bing. That's good to go. Now, we got to get one more element in. We have 1 minute and 21 seconds. I don't know if we're going to get this or not, but I need some kind of percussion effect. Oh my gosh, I'm cutting this way too close. Percussion. Singing bowls. Will this work? I like it. How much time do I have left? 7 seconds. We're going to record it in anyway. Okay. All right, we're just going to keep rolling with this for a minute because, honestly, I like the direction it's going. I made a couple mistakes along the way. It didn't work out as much as I had hoped, but I like where we're kind of getting to now, so we're going to give ourselves a few extra minutes. These singing bowls, they're kind of chaotic. I kind of want to up the delay on these a bit. And then I want to do that same thing with the reverb and the space designer. We're almost giving them like a chimey effect. There we go. And then we're going to up the highs on these with, let's just do just kind of that. And grab one of these and pull down those lows and pull out all of that. Now, one other thing we can do with this is I can go to Imaging and Stereo Spreader, and we're going to spread these bells out. Okay, last instrument we're adding, and then we're going to be done with this project. We're going to get the percussion, and we're going to get some... Let's just go for some low. I need to get that spreader and verb off there. See if we can add in just a little bit of that. Okay, there's one thing that needs to be fixed, and that's these daggum drums here at the end. And that's okay, because I know what I want to do with them. I think I'm just going to stagger these like that. Final playthrough of this specific song. I'm gonna throw on my 30-day. This is my like preset that I use a lot for specifically like orchestral type stuff to really kind of tie it together. Let's see how it sounds. And there we have it. Okay, that's my last man on Earth attempt to kind of have, like I said, guy walks out after a catastrophe, looks out, desolation, all that. That was fun. I made a couple mistakes along the way. That happens whenever you start working on this kind of stuff. You start adding in stuff and you think, ooh, this is the direction I want to go, and then you realize it's not. You realize maybe I need to scale it back. Maybe that's not the intent. Whenever it comes to writing instrumental music, the biggest thing for me is to try to capture the scene you're in using instruments almost like camera angles and props and characters, right? It's not just trying to paint a pretty picture with audio. You're quite literally setting the stage, the sound stage, right? You are placing this instrument here to represent a certain type of weather. You're putting this instrument here to represent a certain character and their behaviors. You have a narrating character. You know, with this, I have the frozen strings, like I said earlier, that's kind of painting the desolate scene. You have the duduk, which is the one man walking out from the rubble to realize he's alone. You have the vintage B3 kind of the drone effect to kind of start pulling it together, which is almost like a heartbeat or like life to me. It's like he's realizing it's not just him. Like the duduk is watching him, right? It's the camera following him, but that's actually him kind of realizing this. You have the kind of the pulsing earthquakey hits that kind of come in with the singing bowls. The singing bowls would almost be like thoughts firing off all different directions. And then, like I said, you have those earthquake hits, which kind of represents a heartbeat to me, right? It starts to kind of pull in rhythm. It's dun. So to me, that's what all these elements represent. That was my attempt at writing a song in 30 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to this channel or follow me on TikTok, Instagram, wherever else you are. I'm going to post this. It wasn't my best work, honestly. This wasn't like the ultimate end-all, be-all. I went over on my time, and that's okay. This is just for fun. It's a practice thing, and I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you enjoyed this, please give me a follow, subscribe, and, you know, there's some other videos and stuff you can check out. Anyways, I appreciate you hanging out, and until next time.